Hello all. Can you all hear
Hello
us?
guys.
Could you just put up a reply if you can hear us?
Hello. Uh, yeah, everyone's alive, I guess. Shatapat. Okay. Everyone's alive. Okay. Can you hear us? No replies. Guys, please reply. Hello.
You could just
Yes, they can hear us. Someone's anonymous. Okay. So probably in about 2 minutes we'll begin our session. 114 attendees right now. Okay. So let's give introduction. Naman.
yeah, sure, Kshitij, you can start.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Kshitij Singer and I'm a second year student from Kolhapur Institute of Technology, and this is my friend Naman.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, I am Naman and I am a third year student at College of Engineering, Pune. So today we're over here together for a webinar, which is on web scraping in Python. So I hope all of you are excited. Please use the comments. You get a Q&A section on your right hand side to ask us any questions. We'll be regularly reviewing. It's only us, which we can see. And I'll share my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Please reply with a yes if you can see the screen in the Q&A section. And also, if there are any of your friends who have to attend, please tell them to come.
Yes, exactly. So there are 130 attendees right now. Shall we wait or move on?
Just a minute, I'll stop my screen sharing. I have to share an entire screen. Just a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Hello.
No, wait, you're not visible.
Yeah, but my
Your
screen is
is
visible. Push my screen.
yeah. Yes. Okay, wait a second.
Yeah. So we'll start.
Wait a second. Yeah, you can begin.
Yeah. So hello all. So we'll start with our session, and as you can see, the title is Automation Using Web Scraping in Python. So I'll just briefly get started. So just a minute, technical glitch.
Guys, let your friends know that the session has started.
Yeah, so we started. So disclaimer, just just stuff that whatever we show over here, it's just for educational and research purposes. Please do not use it in any illegal form or not. So we'll be using Chrome driver. So yeah, you can do scraping on many browsers. So right now, we'll be using Chrome driver. You can use Safari, Firefox based on your requirements. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be floating a link. All those who attend till the end will receive a certificate from Microsoft Student Partners, and we hope you get to learn something new. So yeah, I hope everyone knows about LinkedIn. So what LinkedIn is basically, you can have connections and all. So let me just share you my screen with LinkedIn over here. So I hope my screen is visible over here now. Is my screen visible? Yeah. So what
Yes.
basically we do for connections is we connect, send now, okay, connect, send now, okay, connect, send now. It's basically, tiring. So why not we have something, which can automate these tasks. So over here, I've written few lines of code. Let me just, press enter and see what happens. I'm not using my hands. You can see automatically it's finding requests, connect, send, connect, send, connect, send. So basically, this is what is. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm able to see or not. So it's basically happening on its own. So what is this? This is basically called as automation. I'll let it be over here, and you guys can try it at the end of the webinar. By the end of the webinar, I'll probably get 100 more connections. So let's move back to the slides. So yeah, a wise person once said, as a developer, if it takes more than 10 minutes for you to complete a task, try automating it. So this is what our entire session is going to be, how to automate your task using web scraping, and we'll particularly use Python for that. What do I mean by automating? So a definition, like basically bookish definition, as it says, that it is something, it's a process which is formed by minimal assistance. So something like you're working on, it can be changed and completely will be done by the computer itself or the server itself. You don't have to, use anything for anything else for it. You just need to write your code and let your code work. That is what we usually say in the industry. Let your code work. So we'll start with what? Yeah.
Please close your side screen, please. Minimize it. Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Fine. Yeah, so what is web scraping? So web scraping is something like we just gather data which we see on a web page. So many of you must be seeing the web page. So basically what we can see over here is this. So we have web page. We write some code which will convert the unstructured data into the structured data. So whatever you see on a website can be converted into a structured data. There are many ways of doing this, writing codes, there are Chrome extensions, etc., etc. Today we'll be focusing on how to write a simple code, to automate your tasks. So the traditional methods which are used for web scraping are like you manually go to a website, click, and as you saw in my demo on LinkedIn, I had to connect every time and then send now, which becomes tiring. So why use it? Now, most of you must be thinking, why not use APIs to collect data? So for APIs is application program interface. It just gives you data in JSON format. But just ask a question to yourself. Were you able to find every API you required? I'm pretty sure you must have found few websites where there are no APIs. For example, on Flipkart, if you wanted to find out the prices of a certain thing, did you have an API to directly get the prices? I'm pretty sure there's something like that. And also many APIs are paid. We as students are obviously on a money crunch. We don't have things, we don't have money to, spend on APIs. So why not do web scraping? So what are the different applications of web scraping which you would be asking? So you can maybe build something to get out the price comparison using e-commerce websites. The second would be social media scraping, going on Twitter, finding out how many likes someone has got, how many tweets your friend has done. You can completely do your motive of converting a data from unstructured format to a structured format. Then the next, for brand monitoring. Brand monitoring must be something like, in companies like there's a big brand that has just rolled out its new product. You want to see how are the reactions of the products. So you can, take the comments on the Flipkart, Amazon, and, just see it, put sentiment analysis at the end to see whether the brand is performing good or not. Okay, news monitoring. There are many news, like who would want to again go on the news site and check? It wouldn't be better if you get all the news together one place just in single line? Stock market analysis, a very important part. You can measure, you can scrape few websites on stock market, like the BSE website, NSE website, to see where the stocks are going or coming down. And based on that, you can do analysis. The second, job listing. If you're looking for an internship or a job right now, this is one of the best ways to find out all the jobs that are possible. So if someone puts up an ad, you can write a program that, takes out few important fields like job, then your location, then the salary, and where to apply into a particular CSV where you can then directly see in a structured format. Oh, there are tons and tons of application. So one of the most important things, have you wondered, like if you're making a machine learning model for something, you need data. So where do we get that data from? The answer is web scraping. There's tons of data available on web, but you need to get that into structured format. And have you wondered what happened with, like, at the start when Google, how did it come to know, how did it apply its page ranking algorithm? So that was just done at the start by using web scraping. They used to go to every web page and see what are the particular keywords. So that is what SEO monitoring is. And there is a lot of applications over there. You can use in data science, academia, finance, everywhere. The main thing is data. You get data only when you do web scraping, because there are very other well, a few ways of finding data from net. So now we'll come to on how do we do web scraping. So why are we using Python over here? I'm sure most of you will be familiar with Python because of its easy format, easy syntax, easy to use, and you don't have to do a lot while doing Python. You just need to code in maybe 10 lines and you can get the script done. And we'll now talk. Okay, so just a minute, we'll have a look over here. So this is still going on. I'm out of invitations. Okay, oh my God. Let's keep this aside. Yeah. So different libraries and frameworks. So what this is Scrapy, Beautiful Soup, and Selenium. Now there are various ways in which you can write the code. So Scrapy is one of the libraries, Beautiful Soup, and Selenium. But why do we use Selenium? Because it is a whole-in-one package. But Beautiful Soup, you need to have request libraries to take requests and forward it. We'll see it in the demo ahead. Don't worry. I'm just telling that Selenium is one of the best ways for scraping. So now we'll move on to the demo by Kshitij. So I think Kshitij, you can continue.
Okay, let's share. Wait a second. Hey guys, I'm Kshitij Singh. So now I'll be demonstrating you how to do web scraping. So let's begin. Wait a second. Okay, so I've just shared my screen. So now what we are going to do, we are going to build a image downloader. So why we would need this? So let's say you are building a machine learning program or AI learning program, and you need to feed in some data to the model. So in that case, you have to download a tremendous amount of images from the internet, right? So in that case, is it a better option to manually download the images? Absolutely no, because the model needs really large amount of data, right? So in that case, we can use web scraping to download the images. So let's see how it runs, and then we'll start our session. Okay. Okay. So it has opened. I'm doing nothing right now, and it has started downloading. Okay. And wait a second. You can see here the images are being added here. Look. Okay. So I'll just stop the program. I'll move on. Okay, so this is how it works. So now let me open it first. Yep. So I firstly have a folder on my desktop. So it is MSP scraping named folder. So in that folder, I have a Chrome driver _win32. So it is a driver which you need to do web scraping. Okay, so you can find it on web. You can download it here. Means this is the link. I'll just share you the link for the Chrome driver. You just have to check which version you have of the Chrome, and then you have to download it, and then you're good to go. You just make sure you know the address of the location of the Chrome driver. So this is a credentials.py. I just added some passwords into it, so we'll not get into it. Okay. Wait a second. Open folder. Okay. So I'm using VS Code here. You can use any IDE you want. The procedure is going to be same. Okay. So here we have a file named downloader_script. So we are going to do everything here. Okay. So first, let's import Selenium. Okay. So type pip3 install Selenium, and it will say the requirements are satisfied because I have already installed it. Okay, look, it says already installed. So I'll start with importing it. driver, and we'll define a variable named driver to add in the location of our Chrome driver. Okay, driver dot Chrome, and now just go into your folder wherever you have saved your Chrome driver. So this is your Chrome driver folder. Just copy the path and add it into your program. Okay. Add slash Chrome driver exe. Let's just make sure if the name is right. Yep, if the name is right. So this is all you need to do to just initialize the Chrome driver. Okay, so what does it say? It says, hey driver, we are using a web driver which is Chrome, and this is the path to the Chrome driver. Okay, so this is what it means. So now the main task arises. Where do we go? So this is the Google page. So we are going to start right from here. So what all things do we need to do? We need to add text into this, and we need to hit enter button to go to the images tab of the Google page, right? So the most important task lies over here. First click on your window and then inspect it, or press Ctrl+Shift+I, and you can then inspect the page. If you are familiar with HTML, it would be good to go because it will make you analyze the page a bit faster. So let's begin. We have to add a text into this text field. So there's a button on top left corner. You just click on it so that you can use it to point to a particular element. So let's click on this element, and here we can highlight. We get highlighted with the code that is behind this. So in order to get access to this text field, we need to find out a unique characteristic of that element. So what's the unique characteristic? It must be its name. It must be its class name, or either we can copy its XPath. We'll talk about it later about the XPath. So now here we can see the unique name is Q. Okay, so we are going to access the text field using the name of the input tag. Okay, I'm going to show you right here. So get onto the code and type driver.get. First get the Chrome page.
Kshitij, can you just zoom in to the code a bit?
Okay, wait a second. Is it visible?
Yeah, I think is it visible.
Okay.
And go a bit slow. People are making notes.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So what does this line of code say? It says, hey driver, get the web page. Which web page? This is the web page we want to get. Okay. First, let's just check if it works or not. So I just run it, and probably there's an error. Yeah. So when you type in the location of your Chrome driver, just make sure this slash is a front slash, or it may give you an error. Okay. Let's run it. Oops, something just happened. Executable needs to be in the path. Driver. Wait a second, I'll just copy the path from my code itself. I won't get into that. Okay.
You mistyped Chrome spelling.
Yep. Okay. Probably it's good to go now. Okay. So we got the home page of the Google. So that's how we get the any page we want. Okay. So now I just told you a couple of minutes ago about the unique element of this search box, that is Q. We got to know the name of the element, right? So now we'll get access to that. Say driver.find element by its name. Okay, so there are a couple of functions that are already built into this Selenium package. Okay, so most of the cases there's a unique characteristic. The unique characteristic is the class name. In most of the cases it's the ID of the element, or in most of the cases it's the link text. For every case there's a function that is already built in here. So now this time we're going to access by its name, find element by its name, and we're going to type in the name of that element, that is Q. Okay, and let's say we'll pass a text. Which text? So now we'll just define a variable named search, and we'll say we want to search cars, right? Okay, so now there's a function named send keys into Selenium. Why is it used? So whenever you get a highlighter, whenever you get access to an element, you need to send in some functionality to that element, right? Means you need to add text, you need to click any button. So in that case, we use this function. So here we'll send keys to that text, and what would be the key? We'll send the search variable. Oops. So what it will send? It will send actually the cars, the text. Okay. So we'll just check if it works. Okay. So now I just enter cars, right? So look, this is how it works. So now.
Kshitij, don't minimize, just close the tabs.
What? Okay, no problem. No problem.
Just
I just
close
want
it.
to explain it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
okay. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, guys. So look here. So whenever you type in any text into this search box, what happens is, look, this drop down menu gets added into it, right? So whenever, when after adding the text to this search field, we need to click on this search button, right? But the search button gets covered up. So we have two solutions. Either we can click on this window after typing, let's say something, and I'll click on this, so it gets disappeared. Or either we can get access to our keyboard keys, like enter key or any button on your keyboard. So to get access to those keys, we are going to import some another package from Selenium. So let's say from selenium.webdriver.chrome. Oops, sorry. What was that? Chrome webdriver.common.keys. So first we'll import the keys, and then from import keys class, and now again from selenium.webdriver.common.action import action chains. Okay, so let's talk about what is action chains. So look, we get a documentation below it. So action chain is nothing but a chain of actions. So whenever you're on a website, we need to perform a couple of actions. Means we need to click a couple of buttons. We need to type in any text. So in that case, the action chains get into action. Okay, so let's read it out. Action chains are a way to automate low-level interactions such as mouse movements, mouse button actions, key presses, and context menu interactions. So now you know we can use it to press keys on your keyboards, right? So now let's implement it, and then I'll explain it a bit detail. Let's say driver dot sorry.
Kshitij, can you please explain the 9th line of the code again?
This?
Yeah, 9th line
okay, no
again.
problem, no problem. Okay, so guys, look here. When we inspect this page, we need to add text to this search field, right? So we'll just highlight it, and we get to know that the unique element for this search field is name. So you can see here that the name is Q, so we can access it with its name. So that's why we have typed, hey driver, find an element with its name that is Q. So you just access that that text box, and then we are going to send the search key to where? To the search box. Okay, well, I'm clear. So now I'll just make an object of action chains. Let's say actions is equal to action chains and pass the driver. So this is a way to create an object of the action chain. So now after we type, so first run it, and then I'll show you. Look, after doing this, we need to press the enter key on our keyboard, right? So we are going to do it right here. Okay, so with the object actions, we are going to get access to a couple of keys, like let's send keys, and now we'll send which key? We're going to send the enter key from the keys class. Okay, so using the keys class, you can get access to the keys, and using actions, you can perform a couple of actions. And now you will say perform. Then I'll tell you why we're going to why we need to explicitly add this perform function. So let's check if it works now. And yeah, it works perfectly fine, right? So now I'll just explain you what perform needs to be added explicitly. Okay. So whenever you're on a website and let's say you want to copy this text. So what you will do, you will say Control A and then you will say Control C. So so here is a chain of action. You need to first press the Control key and keep it pressed. Then you have to press the alphabet A. So in that case, the action change comes into picture. So what does it say? So let's type a code for that. Let's type actions dot send keys. Sorry, not send keys. We'll say key down. Why key down? So whenever you copy a text, you keep the control button pressed, right? Until unless the alphabet A is pressed. So to keep the button pressed, we use function key down, and we'll pass the key control, and then we'll again say send keys, and we'll pass the alphabet A. So what does it does? Hey actions, please press the key control and then again press key A, and don't forget to say key down, sorry, key up, because it may remain into the queue. Keys dot control and then perform. So now why perform? So look, this is a chain of action, right? First we press control, then we again press A, and then we again pick up the key. So this is a chain, right? So to perform that chain, we need to add the perform function. So whenever you type this, these all actions get added into a queue. So and when you type this perform function, all these actions get run at one go. So that's why we need to add this perform function. Okay, I'll not show you. Let's move on. So right, so now we have access to the, where was it? Probably. So now we just typed cars, we entered it, and now we have access to this page, right? So now what we need to do, we need to go into this images tab, right? So what we'll do, we'll inspect it. Then we will press on this button. We'll press on the images tab.
Just zoom in a bit, please.
Okay, wait a second. Okay.
And full screen kar do na.
Yes, wait a second. Is it visible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we just inspected this images tab and we got highlighted with this code. Okay, so now we'll check what is unique in this line of codes, right? So look, here is a class that is q space qs, but look, this is a div and this is the div below it, and let's check. Look, let me analyze what is it. Okay, so this is the div. Okay. So look, this is an element that is shopping, and the class name of the shopping is also q space qs. So in this case, there is no unique element that we can point out to. Okay, so in that case, what do we use? We use xpath. So what is xpath? Let me show you. So whenever the code gets highlighted over here, after clicking onto a particular element, you just right click on that selected part and copy, and then press xpath, copy xpath. So I'll tell you what xpath is. So whenever you tell your home address to anybody else, what do you tell? You will first tell the room number, then building, then street number, and so on, right? So it is a methodical way, right? So when you copy an xpath, you get an exact point of that element on the web page, and it's really unique. So if in case you have no any unique element of unique property of an element, you will use xpath. Okay. So now we'll write the code and we'll say driver dot find element using xpath. This is the function, and we'll paste the copied xpath here. So this is an xpath. Okay. So now we have access to that images tab, and what we'll do, we'll say function click to click onto that element. So it does, hey driver, find an element with its xpath and click on it using this function. So let's run it and let's check it. Okay. Just open it, type cars, and yep, it enters the images tab. Okay, so we are good to go. So now the main task arises, that is how to download these images. Okay, so let's move on. First, let's inspect this page. Look, so you may think it's really not so good. Look at this code, right? Because it's really messy around here. So I just check for the first element, and look, here's an images tab. and there is a link to that image. And what's unique in here? There's a class name. Okay, so now I just check the class name of the cars, the second car. Okay, so let's just check it. Its class name is also not a bit methodical, so that we can add it into a code. So now we'll just check it if there's any way we can access it using XPath. Okay, so first I'll just analyze the XPath of these cars. Okay, copy and say copy XPath, and let's say I'll just open into a notepad and just paste it here. And now I'll copy the XPath to this cars. Then I'll copy the XPath, and here is it, and I'll just paste it here. So now look, what's the difference between these two XPaths?
Zoom in, zoom in.
Yep, is it okay?
Yeah.
So look, this is the div that is differing by 1 when you copy the XPath to second. So now we have idea that the elements that are down below are incremented by 1 into the div, so that we can manipulate with that line of what we say XPath to get access to each and every element on that what we say page, right? So now let's just make sure if that is right. So I'll just check any image, let's say this. I'll copy the XPath and I'll paste it here. Okay, and I'll paste it here. Oops. Look, and the div number is 83. So we are exactly right. So this is how we inspect a page. And in web scraping, this is the only tedious job you have got to do. The coding is really easy. Just you need to figure out how to get access to. Okay. So now we have got to know that how to get access to. We need to just manipulate with this XPath. Okay. So now I'll just copy it. I'll just cut it out. Don't save. And let's move on to code. Okay. So now, what do we say? Let's say hey driver dot find element by XPath, and we'll pass it on the XPath that we want, and we'll say click just to check if it works. Okay. So now it will open the window, and and yeah, you just click onto the image. So that's how the process is going to be. Just the thing is we need to add it into a loop. Okay. So
once again go through the XPath. Everyone is asking about XPath. Just can you have an overview about XPath?
Okay,
how did you
about
exactly
the current XPath? Okay,
yeah.
No problem. Just wait a second. I'll just do it again. Cars. Okay. So now we are on this page. We have images. We'll just inspect it. Okay. So now we'll just first inspect the cars, right? So in this, so for this car, there is no unique element so that we can get access to this particular element, right? So what we do, we just copy the XPath because it is the best solution in a mess. So now
so basically, for all those who are asking what is XPath, is basically just finding out the element and you just copy and paste it.
Okay, yes, that's what it is. But still, I'll just show them again so that they won't be confused. Okay. So look, this is the XPath for the first element, and this is the XPath. Oops. Copy XPath, and this is the XPath to this second element. So this is the only thing that is differing by 1. So when we need to access every element on the page, what we'll do, we'll just put up a counter and we'll access it with this XPath. Okay, we don't need to actually go onto that page and copy everyone's XPath, right? So now we'll just add it into a loop so that every image get accessed. Okay, so let's begin. What we did, we just access the XPath, right? So now we'll just write a while loop and we'll say true. Why true? Because we don't know how much longer the page is and how much elements are on that page, right? It will just go on and on until every element is not accessed. So now we'll just put up a counter element, and let's say it's 0. And what we'll say, we'll just increment it plus equals 1. And this is the main task. So look, we need to manipulate this div, right? So what we'll do, we'll just cut it and we'll just put in inverted commas, and after this inverted comma, we'll say dot format, and we'll pass the counter. So if anyone doesn't know what format is, so it is a function whenever you are coding in C language, we need to add that %d sign, and after that comment, we just put that a variable that we need to manipulate that string with, right? So it's just similar to that. We just put up the curly brackets, and when we pass any variable to this dot format function, it will add that number over here into the string. Okay, so that's what the format does. And now we have access to the particular element, and we'll click it. Okay, we have incremented it, and now let's just check. Okay, we got onto that images tab. It clicked.
Yeah, Kshitij, just can you once go through the code, entire code which you have written, just one line by line, what each line does, so people just get yeah.
Okay.
Just from up.
So guys, yes, guys, look. So this is where we imported all the packages. We declared one variable to make searches. So for currently we have put up cars. Then we declared the Chrome driver. So driver is a variable. So we say, hey web driver, this is Chrome, and we've put up the location of the Chrome. Okay, wherever your Chrome is actually present. Then driver.get. So what does it does? It gets the actual page which you want to get access to. Okay, so this is what driver.get does. And then after getting Google page, we need to what do we say? We needed to get access to that text element, text box, right? So you remember that we inspected that page. We got to know that the name of that text box is Q. Okay, so we said, hey driver, find an element whose name is Q, and we passed the search element. Which element? This search element, and it is nothing but cars. So when we say dot send keys, it will type in the text cars into that text element. Okay, so now we need to enter the we need to press the key enter on your keyboard, right? So we created an object of action chains. So now we know what action change is. I will not explain it again. Okay.
No, just have a brief through of action chains. People were just asking why action change is used. Just a view of why is it used.
Okay, no problem. So I just explained you earlier that whenever you are on this, let's say Google page, whenever you type in most of the cases there is no enter button related to it. Means let's say on this Google page there is no enter button, right? So we need to press the actual enter key on your keyboard. So in order to get access to your actual keyboard keys, you need to import the action chains class. Okay, so I hope I'm clear.
Yeah,
that's why we use action chains class. And not only that, we put up the actions into a queue and we run it all at one time. So this is how we do it. Okay, so we said, hey actions, please send the enter key. And which enter key is it? It is the actual enter key on your keyboard. Okay, and then we'll say perform it, because it is a queue of actions. Okay, so now after entering, we'll go on to the page and we can see this tab. Okay, let's say cars. Oops, cars. Oh my god. So this is the page, and you can see this page. Now we wanted to click on this image tab. Okay, so that we write this code. We said, hey driver, find an element whose XPath is this. We copied the XPath to that image tab, and then we clicked onto it. Okay, so then we got into this tab, and then we said, hey, run a while loop, so that we can click each and every image on this page like this. Okay, so now this is where it does. So we put up a counter and we analyze the XPath, just as I said before. Okay, look, so this is the XPath. We said, hey driver, find an element by XPath, and we just manipulated this XPath with the counter, because we know that after incrementing this div, we can get access to all the images on this page, and we formatted it using this format function, and then we clicked onto that image. Okay, so that's how it all goes. So now So now that we can click on every image, we need to download that image. Okay, so let's just show you how we are going to do. So whenever we are on this page, what we will say, we will just right click and we'll say save image or save images, right? But in this case, we don't need to do that. Whenever you save an image, what does it do? It goes to the actual link of this image. Okay, let's just show you or inspect this page. Okay, so you can see this image here, but it's actually not present here. It is somewhere from another website. Where? I just show you where. So look, I just inspected this image and we got to know that this is the source. Okay, this is the actual source where the image is coming from. So what do we need to do? We need to copy this URL and we need to pass it to a class which is that which we are going to import it right now. So import URL libs.request. So why do we need to import this? Because we need to download these images from the particular URL, right? Okay, so to download it from a particular URL, we need to get access to these URLs, right? So what do? We'll first copy the XPath and then we'll copy the source of this image and then we'll save it into a variable. So let's do it. Okay, so let's say src is equal to, sorry, first we'll get the image is equal to, what we'll say, we'll just do this. We'll just copy this XPath because we need to copy the XPath into a variable. Okay, so we'll just paste it here. This is a variable. Now we need to get the source code of this image. Okay, so we'll say src is equal to image dot source. I'll just have to check because I just forgot it. Okay, wait a second. Okay, okay, get property. So there's a function named get property. Something went wrong. URL find element. Property as src. Let's check if it's correct or not. Wait a second, I'm not going to explain it now. Let me just figure out if it's right. Okay, something went wrong at the request lib dot. What's wrong? lib dot request. Sorry guys. I just said from. I need to import it. Sorry guys. Okay. So now, what is it? It says image.get source. And let's just check. Okay. Okay. And probably we got the source. str object, no attribute get. Oh, sorry.
Just have a look at your code.
Wait a second. This is the thing. Let's just copy paste it. Probably I'm right. Okay, so let's just run. Okay, something is going wrong. Naman, can you just help me out?
Yeah, so basically just continue with your other code.
Oops, sorry. These silly mistakes. Okay, probably I am right now.
The property spelling is wrong. Just check once.
Property?
Yeah.
No, it's right, I guess. The net is quite slow. No attribute get property. Something's going wrong, man.
Did you assign image to get element by XPath?
Image check. Okay, image is going to have a find element by XPath, and I just formatted the count. So that's what I did. This is what it is.
Just try it again.
Okay, let me just add it here. Image URL.
Yeah,
Just
so
says it.
basically, I hope everyone understood what was the mistake. So image equals to driver.find element by XPath. We did not do it in the previous code. So that is why,
Okay.
yeah, so we were just having the URL over there. So that was the main problem why it wasn't happening.
Okay. So now it's working probably. Count is not defined. Why? Okay. So this is the count. Sorry guys. Okay. So now
It's not
what do we
see
need
out,
to
it's
do?
not, it's count. Just have a look at the spelling. Yeah.
Okay. This is it. This is it, right? So I hope
Yeah.
it's working now. And it's working. Yep, it's working, I guess. So now I just show you. I won't type it because we are running out of time. So we need to what do we know? So this is the download file. So what is it? We need so by this we can download the images. Okay. So how do we do? So we get access to URL lib.request.url retrieve, and we'll pass the image URL and the image file, image path. Okay. So we'll just first define the file path. Okay. File path is equal to let's just do it quick.
Just
Where is
explain
it?
from
Where
the
is it?
original code only. Explain from the original
Okay,
code
from
only.
here. Okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem, no problem. Okay, guys. So we were here. We just made an object of driver.find element by XPath. So using the XPath, we got access to that element, and then we said get the property which is source into the image URL. So now image URL has the original source of the image. Okay. So now after that, what do we need to do? We need to download that image. So this is the code to download that image. Uh, so to download an image, we'll type url lib.request.url retrieve, and to that to this function we need to pass the URL of that image and the file name. Means with what file name you want to save the image. Okay. So here we define the actual directory where we want to save the image. So download directory is the directory, and this is how I just manipulated. I just added the count number and said .jpeg. Okay, and I just passed the image URL and file path to the URL lib.request.url retrieve. And let's just, what do we say? Okay, I just comment it out and just show you what's going on here. Okay. Okay, let's check. It's running. And the file will be parsing. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. So now it just got to the image tab and it started downloading. Okay. So it's working fine. So I'll just explain it to you really quick. So this is the downloading file. This is the code to download the file. I just passed the URL lib and I've passed the file name with which we want to save the file. And after that, we added driver.implicit wait. So what is it? So in most of the cases, the web driver is not loaded yet. Okay. So in that case, we add some time so that so that we can give some time to the URL, sorry, web to load the page. Okay. So it is nothing but a timer, like time.wait. It's nothing but like that. Okay. So this is what it does. And now the main task arises is when we download the image. Look, when we download these images, the Selenium needs to scroll the page, because after the scrolling, look, the images get loaded, right? So we need to scroll the image. So how do we do that? How do we scroll the web page? So here is a single line of code which allows us to scroll the page. So how does it work? We'll say, hey driver, execute a script. What script? we'll say window dot scroll to, and we'll pass 0 and we'll format it. Why? I'll just show you by typing this driver dot execute will pass a string named scroll to, and we'll say 0 comma and whichever pixel till which we want to scroll. Okay, so now I'll just show you tell you that look at this page. So the pixels start right from here, and it goes on increasing and increasing. So when we write this line of code, what does it say? That hey driver, execute a script and scroll the window to 1080 pixel. So my window is 1080 pixel, so I want to scroll the whole page, this whole screen. It will screen from this end to this end. Okay, and every time we need to increase the pixels, because the pixels don't get stopped at here. For it is 1080 here, then it will increase, then it is 2080. So we need to enter, we need to introduce a variable which can keep track of the pixel. Okay, so we just introduced the scroll plus equals 100. So scroll is a variable which increases by 100 every time, so that we can scroll the screen by 100 pixels. Okay, so we'll download an image and we'll scroll the image by 100 pixels. So this is what the code, this line of code does. Okay, so we'll say driver execute script and it will scroll the screen by 100 pixels, and we're printing the count, nothing but here. And now I'll just tell you why did we introduce the try and except. Okay, so now
just a minute. Basically, those who are familiar with Python, we have try and except blocks. So try is basically when you're putting a code, and if it doesn't work, then it will be throwing an exception. So it goes into the except block. Yeah, Kshitij, go ahead.
Okay, so now I just added the try and except block. So I'll just tell you why. So there are a number of images on this page, and when you scroll down, you can find out this is an element which is not an image. And when you inspect it, let's just check the XPath of this image. Copy XPath, notepad, I just paste it. Okay, so its div number is 24. And now after this, let's copy the XPath of this. Okay, now let's just copy the XPath and just paste it here. Okay, now see, after div number 24, it should be div number 25, but div number 25 doesn't exist, because you can see, okay, I will just not show you. Just understand that this is not an image, and when you pass an when you format the look, where is it? Look, when you format the XPath here, and when you pass div number 25, the website actually doesn't have that div number 25. It actually has this text which we really don't want. And at this point, the code runs out of error, and it will say it is not a valid XPath. So in that case, what do we need to do? We need to make sure that we skip that div. Okay, so we say we'll just try this line of code, and if it doesn't find that particular XPath, means in this case div number 25, it will run the except except section. And what does it do? It just prints out that look, this element doesn't found, and just skips that element, and it will just increment and it will go on and on. That's why we need to introduce the try and except. Just like if and else, it will say that if the div number 25 doesn't exist, just skip that div and just increment it. So that's what this try and except works. Okay,
also, can you go through line number 53? What does explicitly wait do? Just have a
okay. So we have this time package in our Python, right? So what do? We set time.wait, and we pass a particular number. Let's say we pass 2. So what does it do? It just halts the program for 2 seconds, right? So that's what this driver does. So when we say driver dot implicitly wait 2, what is it do is it waits for 2 seconds for the driver. Okay, it's nothing but waiting, letting the program wait for 2 seconds. And why do we do this? To allow the website to load. Okay, because our net is not that fast, right? Okay. Where was I? Okay, so this is the thing, and at the end, don't forget to add this line of code driver.close. What does it do? It just closes the tab. It is a good programming habit in Selenium. So make sure you close the driver after the program gets executed. Okay. So I'll just run it for the last time. Okay. And okay, it just started downloading. Look, the images are getting added. Okay, so I'll just stop it. And look, in few of these cases, it says element not found. Look here. Look, this is the place. So that's why we added this try and except block. So now we'll just stop the program and we'll just head on. Okay. So now what do we do? So I plan to
one more thing.
into this. Yes, bro.
Yeah, so is there any doubt in this program? If anyone, just put it up on the comments, like in the Q&A section, if any. And also we had a second program planned code. We'll not go through the code because we're running out of time. We'll just show you an Instagram bot which we have made.
Yes.
You can go through the code afterwards on GitHub because it's already been almost an hour now. So we'll just run the program in front of you and then we'll end the session in a few minutes.
Okay. And sorry guys, just there were a few silly mistakes that I did. So that's why we are running out of time. Okay. So now I'll just show you the Instagram bot. I'll just run it and then I'll probably just skim you through this code. Okay. So this is the website. It gets on this page, it logs in. Then it just turns off. Then it gets onto this page and it starts displaying the text of a particular, oops. So look, you can see the text of a particular post, right? Look, you just posted 21 posts and my net is not quite good right now. I've run out of net, so that's why I just stopped it right over here. Okay, so now I'll just show you how does it do it.
Just a minute, Kshitish, before this, there are a few doubts on how did you download. So just can you explain the downloading part?
No problem. Where is it? Oops. Okay, so we are on this downloading program. So we just got the source code. We look, this is the downloading part. So to download an image, there's a function that is urllib.request.url retrieve. So this is the function. So what does it does? So to the URL retrieve function, we pass the URL of the image and then we pass the file name with which we want to save the image. Okay, so here we manipulated the file path. You can do it by yourself, and then we pass the URL, image URL. Okay, so we just got access here. This is the code to get the URL. Okay, so it's not that much hard, I guess, because you just have to pass the parameters to this function. It will do it automatically. Okay, so that's what it is. Are there any doubts in this code?
Just a minute, yeah, I'm just checking.
Okay.
Yeah, not pretty much. So I think so we're done with the live demo. So this was basically what we wanted to show. So now one task for you can make for anything. You can actually make this for anything, and there were many questions about the legality of this. So I'll just tell you, if a data is available somewhere and for public use, then you can use it. If you're trying to access data which is not available publicly, then it is illegal. So web scraping has a very gray line. It's on you whether how it is, whether you go for the legal or the illegal thing. I'll share my screen and yeah, we'll almost end it then.
I'm sorry guys, we were unable to explain this Instagram bot. I was actually planning to explain it. I was in a doubt that I may not get a time to explain this program. So
We'll be
let's
uploading,
take it as
don't
a
worry.
assignment.
We'll be,
Okay.
yeah, we'll be uploading it
So
on,
we'll be uploading
GitHub.
this GitHub. So we'll just post the link to it. Okay.
Afterwards, yeah.
Don't
Just a
worry.
minute, I'll just complete the presentation. I'll share my screen.
Okay. Okay. Wait a second. Hmm.
Yeah, so basically we went through all this, and yeah, so this is the like almost the end of the session. We just wanted, to get started with how is web scraping and all. So yeah, special thanks to Geeks God for promoting our event.
Yes.
Also, we would like to thank our community managers, Aparna ma'am, Angela ma'am, and Pablo sir, the global program manager, and all our MSP friends who helped us in getting this session done. And this is okay, my screen has paused. So just a minute, we'll.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Just
we'll
share
be
a desktop. Okay.
yeah, just a minute.
Go ahead.
So yeah, thank you so much for attending this session, and we'll just a minute. We'll share you the link right now for the certificates and the feedback. We would definitely love your feedback, the honest feedback, and I'll make an in form of an announcement. Please head over to the link, and we'll be mailing the certificates to all those who attended at the end. Just let me know if the link is not working. It probably should work. It's MSP web scraping feedback. Okay, so yeah, I'll just once again share.
Just share
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah,
are you
can you
done with
push?
the slide?
Yeah,
Okay,
could you
okay,
just
check.
push
Wait a
my
second.
presentation? Push my
Yeah, I
presentation.
just, yeah, it's pushed now. Check it out.
Yeah, so basically this is the link for web scraping. If there are any more questions, yeah, please let us know in the Q&A section. We'll be
Naval,
sharing the, yeah.
just post this link into the chat box.
Yeah, I have posted it.
Okay, okay, great. Guys, just check it out in the published tab.
Yeah, please check it out in the, no, you might be seeing in the Q&A section.
Yeah, in Q&A section there's published. That's what I mean. Okay, no problem.
So if there are any more questions, please let us know, and we'll be, okay, so there was one question I just missed out. Just a minute.
Which, just find it out and I'll just show them the documentation probably.
What if you're not signing into a website? If you have a captcha or robot thing, is that a way to automate it? Yeah, so you can. There are ways to automate it.
But you need to
Yeah,
do some complex
definitely.
programming too.
We'll definitely share the live presentation ka link and our GitHub code, so you can go through it. And this is a very diverse, kind of platform. Like, because web scraping is not well known, so this is something which you can find more about and all. So it's a very interesting phenomena. Just have a look at it. Yeah, I know you all are beginners, and we cannot share it. So we'll share the code. We'll share the code. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Where have you? Who's this anonymous?
It's okay. It's okay. So from where we have learned web scraping, with Selenium documentation is the best way to learn Selenium.
I'll just share my screen, Naman.
No, it's
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we would request everyone to give your feedback, and
look,
only
guys,
then we'll be able to.
Am I visible?
Just a minute. Let me. No. Push your desktop.
Probably I just shared it.
Yeah, you shared it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so someone just asked where we learned Selenium. So in most of the cases we refer this documentation. We'll just post this link into the chat box in a while. So there are a lot of chapters into this. So web scraping is not only used to crawl into the websites. You can use it. Selenium can be used to create automation for testing your websites. Means if you built a really long website, like let's say Amazon, so in that case you can practically go on every site of that, every application of that website and just check if it's running or not. So in that case, you can write a couple of code into Selenium and automate the testing job. So here, look, here WebDriver application. In the 7th chapter, there is everything regarding how to automate web testing. And that's all how we learned web scraping, and a bit from YouTube too. And here's the Chrome driver. Make sure you download it. We'll just post it. Okay?
Yeah, could you just open your same tab and find? So basically, one big thing, just write Azure Web Functions on the next tab. Azure scraping functions. User can just find it. I'll explain. Yeah, on a new tab, just find it. I'll just give them a brief intro. Azure scraping functions. So basically, for scraping, your computer has to be on every time. So that's a problem. So what you can do is you can put your code onto few cloud repositories from where it can automate things. You don't need to keep your laptop on. So that is why Azure is by Microsoft. It's a cloud functionality, and you can add Azure functions, scraping functions, which will automatically do the task and give you the output in CSV. So you can definitely do this.
Probably you can show them where you can find it. Hey guys, if you want to automate, want to do actual automation, there are a couple of ways. Means, wait a second. Okay, probably I'm visible. So when you want to do web scraping, there are a couple of ways. Means you can either keep your laptop 24/7 online to scrape data from various websites, or there is the best way is from my friend Naman said, is using Azure Cloud, because Azure Cloud provides you various services on which you can post your program and it can run it 24/7. And what's the plus point of that is you just pay for what you do. Means you don't have to pay for servers and all. So I'll not get into it in detail. So we'll just talk about it in the next session. So I'll just share Naman's screen now. Bye.
Yeah. So basically, okay. Anything else? Also, how can you send automatic emails? Yes, definitely we can send automatic emails. That's not a problem. Actually, if you must have found emails which you found were all fully automated. We did not type a single mail. It was, we wrote a script in Python. We'll definitely, so someone was telling that the form link is not available. I'll send a form link again, which is not a bit.ly link. So you can just check it out and you can fill it. So there are a few questions on, accounts getting banned if you have automated it. So yeah, so basically you're using browser. So that definitely means that the website you're using knows that it's a bot. So if you are making a website, you will definitely want to not have a bot working on your function. So the research is still going on. Research is still going on how to go through it. Also, anything else?
I am just sharing the links.
Can you suggest YouTube channel to learn web scraping? Not as of such. There are general links, like you can just, the best one would be the documentation. Documentation is the best. Or
means you can go into depth. YouTube is limited, right? Means it just shows.
Hello. Hello. Hello, am I audible, Kshitij? Hello. Yeah, so basically this is almost the end. Yeah, so the links which we have sent are the same only. We'll send the certificates as soon as possible, maybe by tomorrow or day after. We'll try to make the certificates as soon as possible and send it to you guys. Yeah, so this was all from our side. And yeah, so basically the two links which we sent are the same only. Yeah, Kshitij, you're not audible. Yeah, so okay. Thank you so much all for attending the session. If there's anything, yeah, cool. This was the link, and anything else you can ask in the Q&A section, or you can mail it to us. So there's a question, why did you need to replace? We will mail the GitHub link to all of you. Don't worry, we'll mail.
कोविड-19 पूर्ण देश लढत आहे, पण लक्षात ठेवा आपल्याला रोगाशी लढायचं आहे, रुग्णाशी नाही. त्यांच्याशी भेदभाव नका करू. त्यांची काळजी घ्या. या रोगापासून वाचण्यासाठी जी आपली ढाल आहे, जसे आमचे डॉक्टर, आरोग्यकर्मी, सफाई कर्मचारी, पोलिसांनी त्यांचा सन्मान करा. त्यांना पूर्ण सहयोग द्या. घ्या काळजी या योद्ध्यांची, तेव्हाच प्रत्येक स्थितीत देश जिंकेल कोरोनाशी. अधिक माहितीसाठी स्टेट हेल्पलाईन नंबर 02026127394 किंवा सेंट्रल हेल्पलाईन नंबर 1075 वर कॉल करा. भारत सरकार द्वारा लोकहितामध्ये प्रस्तुत. तुझे यारी अंधेरी गलियां ना मैं कभी दोनों में गया थी पतिए पथिक तू और कोई ना है मेरा सब कुछ तेरा तू समझ ले तेरे हाथ
अभी तेरा सुनाई नहीं दे रहा आवाज. Yeah, so basically this is it. Thank you so much for attending. We'll leave.